Hello class, how are you? Today I'm the teacher of chemistry. My name is Wanyama Joseph, and I will just need you to also introduce yourselves. Start with him.
My name is Aspar Arafat Mustafa.
Then the girl. Okay, thank you very much for that. Now, I'm a teacher of chemistry. Chemistry. And before I proceed on with this subject, chemistry, in the primary, you had a subject called science, and that science was done with some other three subjects. And what were they? One of you can remind us what you did in primary? You did science plus
SST, and math, and English.
Okay. SST, math and English plus science. Now, in secondary, we still go on with the same science here, but this science of secondary level, we divide it into some other subjects. And one of the subjects is chemistry, and I hope that some of you know some other sciences that we look at this level. Can I hear from Patience? Which other subjects do we look at in O level? Physics, biology, technical drawing is also a science?
Yes.
Okay.
And math.
And mathematics. Is that right? Yes, thank you very much. Now there are some other sciences that we might not exhaust, but particularly today we are exhausting what we call chemistry. Now we are going to look at the first topic will be chemistry and the society. Then too, we shall look at experimental chemistry. That's the next topic, experimental chemistry. The third topic is states of matter. States of matter. Then the fourth topic will be using materials. Using materials. The fifth topic will be permanent and temporary change. Mixtures, elements and compounds. Mixtures, elements and compounds. Then seventh, we shall look at air, look at water, and finally look at rocks and minerals. Rocks and minerals. Now for the interest of time, we shall not waste a lot of time here. I hope my students, you've captured all of them. Yes. Have you? Now let us pick out the first topic called chemistry and society. Chemistry and society. Let me remove all this. Now briefly, before I continue, our first term work from here, this is term 1. Then from here, that's term 2. Term 2. Then these last topics is term 3. That means, and our lessons, we are going to capture them in a time lag of 1 hour particularly, and we are going to be picking topic by topic, praying that by the end of 1 hour the first topic will be done, so that we shall try to compress up so that by the end of each 1 hour each topic is done. Now, without wasting a lot of time, let us pick up the first topic here called chemistry and society. Chemistry and society. Chemistry and society. In this section of chemistry and society, there are some few subtopics that we can first look at. It's subtopics, we shall call them subtopics. They will give us even the objectives of the lesson. We shall be looking at what we should know by the end of this lesson. The first subtopic is nature of chemistry. Nature. Now, nature, we would, in simple terms, we would just be looking at what we study. By nature we mean what do we study in chemistry? Then two, what's the meaning of chemistry? That means under nature we shall look at what we study in chemistry. What is particularly found in chemistry? Sometimes we call it discrete nature, discrete, or we can say discrete nature. Discrete means that those particular things that we study in chemistry, and they are unique to chemistry alone. That's what we mean by discrete nature. Now, what we study in chemistry, and two, the meaning of this chemistry, meaning of chemistry. Then in the meaning of chemistry we shall basically see how we can define the subject chemistry. Then two, we are going to look at chemistry in real life. Is chemistry a mirage, or indeed chemistry is real? We want to see, do we really have chemistry around us, or we think just some subject that exists? Now, the third one, we shall look at relationship between chemistry and other science subjects. I remember you gave me a list of those science subjects. Now, I want to see, is chemistry being a science, does it work in support with other science subjects? We shall see that briefly. Now, we shall also see a contribution of chemistry to our economy. Then lastly, why do we study that subject, study chemistry? And that will seal the first topic for today. I hope now we are listening very, very well, not so? Now, I want you to pay attention very, very well. Now we are saying that all these, we are speaking out on them in 1 hour only. That time might not be enough for us, but let us try. Now look here. The first subtopic here we are outlining here is nature of chemistry. Now, nature, we mean what do we study and what is the meaning? What do we study? What do we study in chemistry? Now, this is going to be dependent on you. We are going to look at what we study in chemistry by you doing a small discussion on, I'm going to give you a small assignment for only 5 minutes. You discuss over it what we study in chemistry, but the activity will be our small activity to answer this question. The activity to answer that here, you will just list 5 chemical substances around us, around our community, around our community. Now, in just 5 minutes, can you brainstorm of some substances that are around us? Yes, brainstorm. 5 minutes only. Brainstorm as you list roughly somewhere. You have finished? Yeah, thank you very much. Now let me have one person to present those things. You can sit in the same position there and you present these 5 substances to us.
From what you have discussed, we have seen that the chemical substances around our community, these ones are very many, and what you have listed, you have said soap.
Soap.
We have shoe polish.
Shoe polish.
We have chalk.
Chalk.
Yes. Then we have acids. For example, sulfuric acid.
Acids.
Yes. Then we have Colgate.
Colgate.
We have detergents like Omo.
Then detergent. Those are enough?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Now, these are substances that we find around us. Then basically we can call them materials, because this can be material for washing what? Material for washing clothes, these two. These can be materials for what? Acids. Maybe chalk can be a material for writing and presenting work on the blackboard, not so? Now we are saying that these are materials, not so? That would mean to us that in chemistry we study chemical substances, which we can call what? Materials. Is that fine? Now, shifting a bit to, because we want to know what the nature of chemistry and in terms of what we study, that's understood. Then to the meaning of chemistry. That's the meaning of chemistry. You discussed very well. You have discussed very well this part. Now I'm giving you another activity that would introduce us to what we mean by chemistry. Activity 2 is a piece of paper was burnt. I hope everybody of you has ever burnt. Every one of you has ever burnt a piece of paper? A piece of paper was burnt. Piece of paper was burnt. State the changes. State the changes that took place. Changes that took place. A piece of paper was burnt. State the changes that took place. Again, In only 5 minutes, can you brainstorm on the changes? Brainstorm on, if you burn a piece of paper, what are some of the changes? What do you see when you burn a piece of paper? What do you see? Brainstorm on that. Have you finished?
Yes.
Okay. Patience, present to us. If you burn a piece of paper, what do you see with the eyes?
The paper turned to ash, which signifies that it was a chemical change.
The paper turned to ash, signifying a chemical change. Okay, thank you very, very much, class. Now, let us stand here. Our first subtopic is what nature of chemistry. If you were at home, then your judge says that, well, what do you mean by chemistry? The judge would be referring to what do you really study in the subject and what does the subject mean. See? Now we have seen that under what we study, chemistry is basically looking at chemical substances, and you listed a number of them here. Then going ahead to activity 2, where you burnt a paper, you saw that some of these substances can change into something else. Not so? Yes. Now, before we can look at what's the meaning of chemistry, what's the definition of chemistry, what really led to the paper to change to something else? Which conditions made the paper to change into ash that you told us? Let me hear from us, Paul.
It was
Heat. That means that this material changed to another substance by means of heat. Not so that was the condition. Okay. Now there are a number of things that can change. Like here, our soap, if we put it in water, it can disappear and form what? Form something else. Not so? If we look at jumping very fast to what? Colgate. If you put it in the mouth and brush, finally you will use it until it changes into some leather, not so? Change into leather. Now, we are seeing that the materials can change under different conditions. Now, in that small discussion, what would be the definition of chemistry? Now, to zero down here, have you noted down some of these? Yes. Now, let us have it like this. Definition of chemistry. Before we define that subject, we said, what was the name of these? Materials. What would be the scientific term that you would call materials? Any material observed? Anything you see around you, what could it be to you? Could you be loud enough? Matter. That means instead of calling them materials, these chemical substances can be called matter, which can change when you apply different conditions. Now in that same discussion, what could chemistry be defined to be? Yes, Patience, what is chemistry?
Chemistry is a branch of science that deals with the study of matter under different conditions.
Say it again.
Chemistry is a branch of science that deals with the study of matter under different conditions.
Thank you very, very much, President. Did you pick it from this discussion here?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, in short, Patience has told us that chemistry can be defined as the study of matter and the changes that occur to that matter under different conditions. Thank you very much. Now we have finished our first subtopic. You have understood what we mean by chemistry. If you ask to say it in your own words, can you explain to somebody at home what's chemistry? You can do that. Now, running very fast to the next subtopic here. Our next subtopic was chemistry in what? Chemistry in real life. That one would mean chemistry around us, not so? Around us. Now, a minute. Chemistry around us, not so? Now, again, our lesson is investigative. I will not leave it to myself. I will again jump to you back. I want to know, do we really have chemistry around us, or we just think we deal with a myth, a mirage? Now, to understand whether we have chemistry around us, let me take you here a little bit in this activity. Again, in 5 minutes, brainstorm for me the activity here. Activity. You are giving some examples. List examples in the real world life where you think the knowledge of chemistry is used, where you think the knowledge of chemistry is used, where you think the knowledge of chemistry is used. Example, then nature of action. Example, the nature of action. Present it in a table format. Do we really have chemistry in real life? Do we? Yes. Now, brainstorm. But I wanted to give you a small example here to make that activity a bit more understandable. For example here, the first example can be digestion. Digestion. How does digestion use the knowledge of chemistry? That's what we are calling nature of the what? The action. Like here, digestion involves using chemical substances like acids and enzymes, not so? Acids and enzymes to break down food into more into better forms that can be easily absorbed in the body, not so? Yes, that this involves. Now, if you give an example, mention this way, how this example brings in chemistry. That's what we are meaning. Okay, go ahead. I've given one example, digestion. Mention for me some more 3 examples that use the knowledge of chemistry, so that we are able to know, do we really deal with chemistry around us, or we just think it's a myth? You finished discussing there? Okay. Now, thank you class very much. You have discussed the various examples of chemistry in real life. Now I'll request one of you to present to us the example and the nature of the action. How does it bring in the knowledge of chemistry?
For washing your clothes, you have said we use soap, even detergents. Coming in the nature of action. Washing your clothes, then you have said using soap and detergents. Then another one, we in time of COVID where people are making sanitizers. So during the making of sanitizers, we use ethanol. Those are all applications of chemistry in our daily life today. There is also the process of making soap itself, saponification. Where we use acids. And we also use oils.
Okay, thank you very much. From our discussion here, we have seen very well, you are the ones who have presented and shown to us very well that chemistry is actually around us. Not so? That would mean we can say chemistry is part of our lives. That would mean in food, we can find chemistry in food, digestion, washing clothes, that is using soap and detergents. Now, we shall not waste a lot of time here since you have really shown it easily that indeed chemistry is around us, not so? Now, let us strictly again go to another subheading here. And we finished the second one. The third one is we are going to look at chemistry and the careers. Chemistry, that is subtopic C, chemistry and careers. Are there really some careers which involve the knowledge of chemistry? Activity, list some 5 what? Careers which knowledge of chemistry. Now list down some 5 careers which use the knowledge of chemistry. This one is again upon you in 5 minutes. You brainstorm of some 5 careers which you can get when you study chemistry. Make it active.
We said we have teachers, we have doctors, we have technicians, lab attendants, and other people.
Therefore,
Yes.
make them 5. Try to brainstorm more. Think. We are through. Thank you very much. We can have patience presenting those careers that we get out of chemistry.
We have doctors. Their careers it's a career in chemistry because it deals with medicine.
Say it again. Say it again.
It's a career in chemistry because it deals with medicine, and medicines are made out of chemicals which are studied in chemistry. Then we have teachers who teach chemistry. You have lab technicians. We also have lab attendants. A lab technician.
Wait, pause from there. Mention laboratory technicians. Mention it again.
Laboratory technicians and laboratory attendants. They are different because laboratory attendants, they attend to patients in the laboratory, in the medical laboratory. Then the laboratory technicians, they attend to students in laboratories. Like they are like instructors in the laboratories. Then you have nutritionists.
Wait a bit, say it again. Say it again. It's very good explanation.
Laboratory technicians and laboratory attendants are different in a way that laboratory technicians, they are found immediately school laboratories. They instruct students what to do. Then laboratory attendants, they are in hospitals. They attend to patients in the laboratory.
Thank you very much. Proceed.
Then you have nutritionists. It's also a career in chemistry because nutritionists study the digestive system and they tell you which food you should eat. They tell you on the daily nutrition you should eat because that's very important in the body. Let me say like a balanced diet. They tell you that this enzyme is responsible for this, and enzymes are chemical substances in the body that speed up the rate of digestion. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Patience. You have been very, very good. Aspolo, can you clap for Patience? Yeah, thank you. You have been a very good class. Now, that means that if we study chemistry, we might not just go barehanded, not so? We have to become doctors, we have to become teachers, we have to become laboratory technicians and attendants, and we have to become nutritionalists. Thank you very much. You've explained to us very, very well about all this. Now, let us go into our next subtopic here. And our next subtopic here is a relationship between chemistry and other science subjects. Relationship between chemistry and other science subjects. Have you put down that subheading? Relationship between chemistry and other science subjects. Now, as a reminder, when we first started the lesson, you reminded me that science in primary dealt with the science in primary. You looked at it and some other 3 other subjects, not so? Now, but you didn't give me the definition of what science meant. Can I receive a definition of science first? Anybody aware of what science could be?
Science is the study of man and his surroundings.
Science is the study of man and his surrounding. Good trial. Good trial. Aspolo, you wanted to try?
Our primary definition.
About because yes.
Science is the study of living things and
non-living things. Aspolo, say it again.
Okay, according to our primary knowledge, we were told that science is the study of living things and non-living things.
Thank you very much. Because just 1 year or 2 years back, not so? Yeah. Okay, Patience, clap for Aspolo. Thank you very much. Now, science is the study of living and non-living things. That was primary, not so? Now, in secondary, I would give you a story of President Museveni, who told us that he wants to go on with religion and science. Do you mean that President Museveni meant that he wants to go on with religion and living and non-living things? Did he mean science to be living and non-living things? No. Basically, Museveni could have meant that our science here meant that he had to understand the environment, not so? based on some knowledge, and not to overemphasize. Now, let us be very brief here. Science, according to primary definition, is the study of living and non-living things. But in secondary, we can advance a bit. We can advance a bit. Now, science could mean the knowledge of the environment based on observation, recording and interpreting information using certain methodologies. Now, that was as President Museveni was trying to explain his science in Uganda. We can base our explanation from there, that science meant, according to President's discussion, it meant that is the knowledge of the environment based on observation, interpretation, recording, analyzing information using certain methods. Not so? Now, we say that first, that in secondary, this science now is divided into biology. What else? Chemistry, physics, mathematics and technical drawing. Now let us emphasize the three for the interest of the lesson. Now, what did we say our chemistry was? Chemistry was that deals with the study of matter and the study of matter under different conditions, not so? Now, who knows what biology could be?
Biology is the study of life.
Study of life, not so? Then this physics could
It's
be
the study of matter and its relation with air.
patience, speak louder.
Physics is a study of matter
Study of matter
and its relation with energy.
and relation, could we say, to energy? Okay. This is the study of matter under different conditions. Now, in brief, could one of you relate the three from our activity of burning a piece of paper and the listing of these chemicals? Can we be able to relate and see that the three are related via this activity where we burnt a paper here? Then again, we listed some chemical substances here. Can there be a relationship? Starting with maybe physics and chemistry. Yes, Aspolo, relate these sciences. Aspolo.
From our activity of burning the paper,
Burning a paper.
Physics and chemistry are related in a way that this paper is burned, meaning that this paper, according to chemistry, the paper is okay. There are conditions that are applied to the paper, so it is reacting with those conditions, of which physics says that it is the study of matter and relation to energy. Energy, we have said that the paper was acted upon by heat, of which heat is also a form of energy. So this heat acts upon the paper for the paper to turn into ash.
Okay.
So the chemistry and physics are related.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much, Aspolo. He has been very clear. Have you understood?
Yes.
Yes, he explained and said that chemistry and physics are related through matter by application of energy called heat. That means these sciences are related, not so? Now, relationship between chemistry and other science subjects. We can basically say that chemistry is related to the three science subjects. Can it be related to biology? Because we are saying biology is the study of life. Can chemistry relate to biology?
Yes.
Okay, they can be related, not so? Could you have a relationship and explain it out? Especially say explain how chemistry is related to biology. Yes.
Made up of life processes. For an organism to be alive, there are processes that it must undergo. So one of those processes in the, let me give an example. In the animal system, there is digestion of food. And in digestion, there are enzymes and acids that burn down the food and speed up the rate of digestion, which is also chemistry. Because enzymes are chemical substances and acids are also chemical substances. So there is a connection between biology and chemistry.
Thank you very much. Appreciate yourself with the hand clap. The students have shown us that indeed the three are related. Could we think that now chemistry, what could chemistry, could we say chemistry is the central science? The center of all the sciences? Because it pulls the physics and also pulls biology. Okay, thank you very much. Now we are not going to add more here. We have seen that the three are related. Here chemistry is related to biology through chemical processes. Not so? But physics is related to chemistry through energy or conditions that change matter. Not so? Thank you very much. Now, let us now look at our last, the second last subheading called the contribution of chemistry to our economy. Yeah. Contribution of chemistry to our economy. Okay. Now, activity here is discuss some 5 contributions of chemistry to our economy. Now, I will give you again some 5 minutes to brainstorm on the contributions of chemistry to the economy of Uganda. Please go ahead. Start over. Are you through? You have discussed the contributions of chemistry to our economy. Now, in brief, I will request us, Paulo, to make a presentation, but with some few explanations, very fast, in a shortest time possible.
The knowledge of chemistry is used in making soap. Because this soap comes about with knowledge of chemistry, synthesis, acids, what, and many other things that are applied. This soap is sold by people to get money, hence favoring our economy. Then you have also said that the knowledge of chemistry is used in making chalk, which facilitates our education system in Uganda. So when the education system is facilitated, we shall have very many people. Okay, very many people will be studying very well, and when we graduate to get jobs. We have also said it's a source of taxes, which are a form of revenue to the government. These taxes, right now we have many companies that are making synthesizers. For example, there are very many making synthesizers, basics, all those applications of chemistry in our society. So when these companies are making those products, they're taxed by the government and it's a source of revenue. We have also said chemistry is used in the making of ink, for writing. This also still favors our education system because even right now we are using our pens to write. We have also talked about using our knowledge of chemistry to make sanitizers, also still sold to get money.
Okay, thank you, Asparo. I think you have through. You have really discussed very, very well the contributions of chemistry to our economy, and you have shown us a number of them that indeed chemistry is very, very important to our economy. Is that right? Yeah, thank you very much. Now you say the first point that the knowledge of chemistry is used to make soap, not so? The knowledge of chemistry is used in making chalk, and you gave explanations. You had so many, but since you presented them to us, thank you very much. We would like to look at our last section in this topic here. Our last section is why do we study chemistry, and that will make the end of our lesson. Why do we study chemistry? Do we study it for granted, or there is a reason? Now, I would like you to brainstorm on some 5 reasons why we study chemistry. Why do we study chemistry? Brainstorm on 5 key reasons why we study chemistry in only 5 minutes. You are through? Yeah, thank you very much. Now I would like Patience to present to us some of the reasons why do you think we study this subject called chemistry. Patience, go ahead.
To get jobs.
Be loud enough.
We study chemistry to get jobs, e.g. teachers, laboratory attendants, laboratory technicians, doctors. Then to get skills, e.g. making liquid soap, making sanitizers, making different stuff like chalk, shoe polish. Then to get the knowledge of manufacturing drugs. Without knowing that this chemical works under this condition and this chemical can do this and that, this chemical is dangerous, it can burn. Without that knowledge, you can't manufacture drugs. You can end up manufacturing a drug and it's going to kill people. Last but not least, to get to know the behavior of different chemical substances. Like, let me give an example. Acids. Most acids are dangerous, can you say? And if you take them, you can instantly die. So, if you don't study chemistry and know that this acid can do this to you, you can't get to know that this. You can find someone taking a sanitizer, not knowing that the sanitizer is to kill germs, and you find that person taking a sanitizer and that person dies. Then finally, to pass exams. We go to schools, we study chemistry, and we do exams, and we pass.
Okay, thank you, Patience. Just for a clap for Patience. Yeah, now thank you, class. You've been very good. I've loved your discussions. Now, this is our last section. Why do we study the subject called chemistry? And indeed, you are so informed, and I'm convinced that you are not here to waste time, but you're here because chemistry is very important. Now I'll be summarizing them up as Patience mentioned them. Patience mentioned the first reason why we study chemistry. To get jobs. That the first reason why you study chemistry is to get jobs, and since we saw different careers up here, jobs like a teacher, jobs like doctors, laboratory attendants, and so on and so on. Next point, why do we study chemistry?
To get skills.
To get skills. To get skills. To get skills. Like which skills do we really want to get? You told us that you can get skills like making soap, not so? And that one will be for your survival when you don't have a job, not so? Then next point you said?
To get the knowledge of manufacturing drugs.
To get the knowledge of making drugs. And that we could say, which people make drugs? If we can specify, what's the term, that chemical word, people make drugs? Are they nurses? Doctors? People make drugs, are they pharmacists? Okay, thank you very much, they are pharmacists. What's the next reason why we study Patience?
To get to know the different behavior of different chemical substances.
That we get the knowledge of how chemicals behave,
yes.
So that you don't drink anything, not so?
Yes.
Yes, because you might drink poison, but if you know how it behaves, then you'll know that it's unsafe. Next.
To pass exams.
To pass exams. That's the reason for going to school, not so? You can't come from a village and write an exam, not so? Yeah, chemistry is studied not for granted because it's a real subject, and we've seen through the discussion that indeed chemistry is a real subject. Now in summary, I'll pose a few questions one by one to just summarize our lesson. We are coming to the conclusion, and we have been through around the 5 subtopics. The first one we saw nature of chemistry, then we saw what we can study in chemistry, those were chemical substances. Then we also saw the meaning of chemistry, and we defined it, not so? We defined it and we said the chemistry is the study of matter and the changes that can occur to that matter under various conditions. Then we went ahead to look at chemistry in real life. Then indeed we saw that chemistry is everywhere around us. In food we eat, it's also in the washing of clothes, there is chemistry. See, there is chemistry in swallowing drugs and tablets, not so? Is there chemistry in purifying water?
Yes.
Yes, putting water guard, there is chemistry. That means chemistry is all around us, since it deals with matter, and matter is everything around us. Then we next saw the relationship between chemistry and other science subjects. Then we built and said the science was the knowledge of the environment around us, not so? Based on what you can see, you can interpret, record using certain methods. Then again we proceeded further to see that chemistry indeed was related to physics through energy and conditions under which matter can change. Not so? Then we saw that how is chemistry related to biology? Patience told us that the chemical processes that lead to life in man is indeed the chemical reactions that are dealt with in chemistry. Not so? Then we went ahead to see The next subtopic has various careers that we find we can gain after studying chemistry. We saw we can become doctors, see, we can become laboratory attendants and laboratory technicians. Patience really gave a difference between a laboratory attendant and a laboratory technician. See, now we also saw that you can become a teacher like I am. I'm teaching chemistry because I studied the subject called chemistry. Now there were many careers which we can't exhaust. Then we went ahead to see the contribution of chemistry to our economy. Is chemistry really studied in Uganda to waste time, or it is important in the development of our economy? You really gave a number of uses. The knowledge of chemistry is used to manufacture various products like soaps, you said so. Then we saw making chalk, but we saw so many used in agriculture to make insecticide. That means it boosts every sector, agricultural sector, the medical sector, that is health, not so. Then lastly, we saw why do we study that subject. And indeed, I was convinced by you yourselves that I'm not here to waste time, but indeed the subject is so important. We study it for a reason. Now, thank you for that summary. One or two questions and we close. First question, that's just brainstorm assignments, exercise. If physics is the study of matter in relation to energy, what could chemistry be? Then question 2, this one we've already answered it. List 3 examples of chemistry in real life. Chemistry in real life. So, then lastly, mention 5 contributions of chemistry to our economy. And I think that's your exercise that you will answer, and we shall meet in the next lesson. And thank you very much for being very, very good students. Clap for yourselves.